are the typical myths about storytelling? Anybody? Any perception people have? Yeah, it starts with once upon a time, okay. But it's a good way, but I actually, if you say it's not a myth, it's a good, you know, whether it's once upon a time or year 1982, concept is still the same, but it's a good one. The biggest is, my story is not powerful. The biggest, and people never get started. Like, Yathiji's story is so powerful, yet he did not share. You can imagine, you know, with such a powerful story, you still not shared it, right? And there are people like me, naive like me, just 2-3 years and I'm sharing my story everywhere. I boast and I share my story everywhere, right? So yeah, that's the biggest myth, that you need to, and you know, you will face this question: is my story even inspirational? Is my story even powerful? Right? It's the biggest myth that you need to bust. No one wants to hear my story. Very covered, right? No one wants to hear my story. That's not true. Not true. There will be so many amols waiting, you know, there. In millions and millions of people, there will be some people who will connect with your story.
For me, it was this, not the first one.
Oh, okay, is it? No one wants to hear my story. Okay, good. Alright, I'm not humorous, or I'm not engaging or interesting. I can read your minds. I'm not an expert to tell my story. Worst. Right? I need to be an expert to tell my story, or any story. You don't need to. Who decides whether you're an expert or not? It's you. So if you yourself are telling yourself that you're not an expert, you will act as not an expert. You need to act and live as an expert. Okay? One good news I have for you is, you all are natural storytellers. Knowingly, unknowingly, you have shared so many stories in your life that you don't even know that it was a story that I shared. The easiest way is gossips. Everybody has an ability to tell a story. It is just that you've not been conscious and you've not been using the story in the business world now. You've just been using that in your personal life. But now your story has to be shared, whether your story or somebody else's story. And you will see that why Jay Shetty is so powerful these days. Starts sharing stories after stories after stories. That's why his content is becoming so rich. And he's connecting with millions and millions of people. Different stories he will share, right? Analogies, stories.
In that video also he put some stories of...
Yes, you saw the recent one, the accident one, the girl, you know, got a cut and all, right? He adds now the clip as well. He's just going in an advanced level of storytelling. He's not even just making you visualize this, but he's also giving you the videos to put your perspective. That's the power of storytelling, and you enjoy it. And my wife also enjoys it. She does not watch motivational videos, but she watches Jay Shetty's videos. Alright, pitch your product, right? Where do you use yourself? Educating a team. Even in your job, right? When you have to get something done from your team, the best way to get it done is using a story, right? Like for example, team is not performing and you say, so you know what, I was in director's cabin and he was explaining me why it is important for the team to do this, and then you make your point. You're telling a story, you're actually making them visualize the picture, and then you're proving your point right. Everywhere you can use a story, right? PPT, of course. Job interview, of course. Hardly. I've seen most of the people don't never use their story in job interviews. Never. And that's what I taught Monish as well. And he's got 3 offer letters already. I said, dude, whenever you're making a point, when I ask you that what is your strength, you need to back that up with a story. That, hey, this is why I say it is strength. Then he started using those. Like, you know, why should I believe you? Like, I am hardworking. Why should I believe you? You need to share the story, you know. So some of my qualities, I'm really hardworking. You know, for instance, you know, I remember when I was in those days when our team required 13-14 hours of hard work, and my manager banked upon me. Jhoot bola bale. Right? But when you back the story up, person believes more. So even job interview, more stories you share. What are the case studies? Why people say that, you know, which was the biggest deal? That is your story. That's your case study, which is a story. That there was a client who was this, that's your story. Everywhere you use stories, but you don't know sometimes. Emails, of course, blogs, videos, webinars, we already covered. I use a lot of stories in my webinars, okay? So what is the formula? How should an ideal story plot should look like? What is the flow of the story? Okay, this is the flow of the story. It usually starts with a problem or an obstacle or a challenge or a tough situation. Then comes your realization, some turning point. Then ultimately you win. There's a resolution. This is the typical plot of all the greatest movies that you can name and think of. Tell me any good movie, hero movies or any movies. Avatar, right? Classic example. Everybody, you know, Bahubali, let's take Bahubali. Same thing. What happened? Obstacle, right? Everybody was happy, la 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 la, you know, kids were growing up. No, actually
You picked the wrong example.
sorry. So the story, how does the story start? With the problem, you know? What is that, Devi? Some Devi was walking with that kid, Pani mein. I saw it twice or thrice movie, okay? So, but I forgot. Okay? Some Devi, whatever it is. Rajmata, yes, Rajmata. Yes, Rajmata. So Rajmata, story starts from there. She's running, you know, Sipahi, they're chasing, soldiers are chasing her, you know, and then she kills two people, and then the struggle starts, right? The struggle starts. Then, usually, most of the movies and all, you know, there's one more step which is missing in this, which I've covered later. Usually then it starts a backstory. Kyun hua tha? Yes. See, they arouse the emotion, they arouse your suspense with the obstacle and challenges. And then they give the backstory, why did it happen. Then they show the turning point. You know, then kid grows up, turning point, right? Then he goes and Badla, you know, free his mother, and then becomes Bahubali. Same formula, every movie, repackaged in a different way. Same formula. You talk about Pixar movie. What are the Pixar movies? Animation movies. Same plot. Same plot. You know why? Because as a human being, we love rags to riches story. We love the underdog story becoming superhero. Any movie you see. That's the beauty of it. Same. All superhero movies are same, right? Any movie you name it, it will have the same flavor in just a different twist. This is what I call how to tell a story. So anything, any message that you have, any videos, any articles, any blogs, you see my post, I always start with my struggle. That, hey, this is what I used to think. This is what I had problem. But then I discovered this, and now I am here.
Would you like to solve it?
Would you like to solve this? Attend my webinar. Right? Every post you see, every video you see, it has the same format. And the day when I realized this, that this is the formula, I use it everywhere. Email copywriting, interviews, or whatever it is, not interviews, but any deal I need to crack, anyone I need to convince, anybody, right? I use the same formula. All right, again, same thing. In my terms, it could be either a challenge, it could be tough times, it could be struggle, anything, underdog, whatever it is. How many of you seen the movie China Gate? Have you seen the China Gate movie, Jagira movie? किसका खून पी के पड़ा है? लोमड़ी. कितनी लोमड़ी का? नहीं बोला था. अच्छा, I'm just checking. How much attention you paying? How many jackals? So let's look at that story, okay? And then we'll put this in this context, okay? So what was the challenge in China Gate? China Gate, he is the villain. You know, he was actually what was he doing? Looting the village and, you know, overpowering the village and troubling the villagers, right? So there was one lady who puts together a team, finds a leader, puts together a team to fight Jagira and kill him, right? So what happens? Backstory. Remember China Gate also, right? Initially they see the struggle and all, and then they say what happened, right? They give the backstory and all, how he became Jagira. Then the team comes, realization, oh, I need to build a team. Then comes the transformation or solution, right? So she builds a team, Om Puri and all those people come together, Nasruddin Shah, or, you know, Amrish Puri, they were great star cast, you should watch it. And then everybody wins. Hero wins. Chamma chamma. Urbila matol. Alright, now let's play a quick game, okay? Quick game. Guess the name of the movie. Okay, I'm gonna give you the plot. Let's see who gets it first. A goon, with help of his gang, used to trouble a village. This is the most common one. Two people arrive in the village, right, to help them. They are stunned to hear the tragic story of how it all started and how the man lost his arms in a fight. What difficult thing? Oh, very tough. And two people come. I just start with some easy one. No, come on. You need to start with teaser one, right? You guys are smart, so you know kindergarten question is. So two people win the fight, right? This is a kid is born. हर बार नहीं होता इतना easy, yeah? But he's not normal. Don't spoil. Okay, let it finish. Okay, then you guess. Okay, he grows up with low IQ, ends up being bullied. He finds an alien who empowers him. He becomes strong and fights the evil. He wins. Right? Same plot, same story. Right? Struggle, found some transformation, some alien or whatever, and he wins. A father who had a dream to make his country proud. He failed to get the gold medal for his country. He starts to train his daughters to wrestle. Whole village, oh don't say, whole village laughs at him. Daughters win gold medals. He is proud and everyone is happy. Alright, guess it. Okay, now you're becoming very smart, na? Tell me who these two people are. Donald Trump to sabko pata hai. Who is the other guy? A guy who is very, very popular in United States. A man born in early 60s comes to United States, right? Probably born in, I don't know, in Europe or somewhere. He comes to United States. He was in army. His friend tells him there is a job with one family. They need a nanny, somebody to take care of their daughter. He said, nanny? And at that time, of course, there was nanny was not very prominent in those days, back in days. Real story, okay? So he approaches them. He tells them that I would be the one, I'm here for the interview for the nanny. And those rich people, they said, nanny, how, we looking for, women, and how can you become a nanny? He said, then he used the analogy. He said that you have an advantage. You get nanny with a bodyguard, because I was in the army, and they are sold on the idea. He becomes the nanny and the bodyguard twice. He works there for 2 years, and his weekends or in his spare time, he actually buys t-shirts from one place and he goes to one of the beach and he sells the t-shirt. And the way he sells it, he becomes very natural at it. When somebody is engineer mind, the analytical mind, he will tell him how the t-shirt was made, the design, the craftsman, and what was measurement and everything, and he will sell them. And if there are other people who wants to hear the story, he will share the story of people who manufacture the t-shirt, their stories. And he became so pro at it that within 1 day he could make $1,500, which would cover him for his entire month rent. He became so good at it. Time passes by and he saves enough money to come out of that job, right? He starts working, he starts selling the t-shirts. He saves enough money to buy himself, probably makes his first $1 million in that business. He starts on the journey then. He has a lot of ideas. He thinks that he should give ideas real life, and he brings this to real world. And as he was in Marine, he always had the weird thought. Whenever he's flying in the plane, he thinks that, hey, what if this plane crashes today? And if we land on a deserted island, how would we survive? Who will become a leader? Who will become a follower? How would the chemistry be when there is no equation of money, rich, everybody's equal? How would that life look like? He used to just think about that, the weird thoughts. Then he decided, I'm going to make a show out of this. Television show. And then he goes with his story to different channels. He said, I'm going to make a show out of this. And initially, he starts pitching this idea to his friends on the dinner table. And he refines his pitch, and he makes his story so powerful. The story continues. He starts polishing his pitch, okay? And then finally he's ready. After he's done hundreds of pitches to his friends, and he observes their emotions. And if somebody is just nodding and then the cell phone, they know something is missing in my story. Right? Same thing that Aniket told me, my feedback in Gurgaon. I shared the story with him. So he polishes his pitch, then he refines it, and then he shares the story. And then when people are like, oh, interested, now I'm ready, I think. Then he goes and pitches to different news channels. Finally, he gets one news channel to fund him enough to shoot for 28 days on some Japanese or some island, I don't know. And then he makes his first series, which becomes the #1 hit show in US. And the name of that show is? Who said that? Survivor. Don't guess the name. I don't think you know the name of the guy also. Then he becomes so popular. Okay, of course he gets married and all that thing happens. Then he comes across, by then he was already in media, right? He meets Donald Trump when he's giving his keynote speech. And by the way, how this shift happened in his life. He read the book called Art of the Deal. He read Donald Trump's Art of the Deal when he was new to US, and his mind like just opened. And then he became a big fan of Donald Trump, and he was sharing his keynote speech, and he was saying that the day came when I became so popular, and I was like, to me Donald Trump was like the biggest ultimate, and I wish I had an opportunity to just meet him someday. But me coming from this, this place, meeting Donald Trump is like a dream. But one day I'm giving a keynote speech, and who do I see in the front row of man? Donald Trump himself. And that was the proud day for me. And then he says that we connect somehow. Either he exchanged the card or somehow, and then they discuss the idea for the next show. That's when these guys meet to discuss the next show. The next show is again one more revolutionary show. He's seen people job interviews and all that. And he said, no, why not we make a show, real show on that? Do you know the name of the show? Apprentice. He joins hands with the big man, and they co-produce or create a show called Apprentice. Okay. Still guessed his name? No? Don't Google, okay, by the way. Don't Google. No cheating on anybody on this, also no cheating. Alright? So then he's made different shows. Some of the shows now everybody would be able to relate to is Shark Tank. He is the brain behind Shark Tank. Then he goes on to make a revolutionary show which is on Bible. The Bible or something. It is the day when it was aired, it had 100 million views. Or maybe not that day, but over a period of few months, 100 million views, and everybody was against him. Every time he said that, every time I came up with a new idea of the show, everybody said it's not gonna work. There's no demand, there's no public, there's no audience. And every time I did it, I knew because it's my passion. It gives meaning to my life. That's why every time I did it, whether it's a Bible, even Shark Tank, everybody said don't make Shark Tank. So many complexities. When we did Bible also, so much of complexities were there, but Bible became super hit. This guy's name is Mark Burnett. Huge. You have heard this name?
Yeah.
Very, very popular guy in the United States, like biggest shows, right? Big shows. So what is his story? Rags to riches. Somebody, right? And now, when I was sharing this story, did you felt connected, motivated, inspired? Right? Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. You may not be the Mark Burnett, but you have reached somewhere and you solved some problem for yourself, you have to present your story. It's the same story. Guy, born poor, struggled, found a solution, inspiration from, the book, had a vision, he followed the vision and he became a superhero. He handled a lot of challenges and all, he became superhero. People buy from people who they like and who they trust, right? See what he did, he's just taken this to a next level. We have the story, we have it here. We need to bring it in real world. And the best way, I've read in one of the book also, that the best way to tell your story is write your story first.